Welcome back to the Dynasty Kings podcast, and we are back today with another mock draft. Austin, welcome back.
Monday. Hello, I'm back. We've made it. It's been like a 2-month hiatus or something like that, but we are here. We're ready to mock draft. Free agency is wrapping up. It's definitely not over. Probably a couple more surprise signings, but in general, we kind of can project who's starting where quarterback-wise. We know where the picks are going. We're excited about this one so far.
We're not 100% sure where the picks are going, but we'll try our best. But let's dive right into it. You are doing the odd picks today. Yep. I'm doing the even picks.
Yeah.
So
we're getting it started, and this has been solidified for anybody who's thinking maybe they keep the quarterback and draft MHJ, do a trade back to 2 or something like that. Nope. Caleb Williams, he's a Bear. Get him in there. I am a little iffy on his attitude, but the talent is there to be seen, and I think that supersedes everything. He's just a great quarterback, and I really don't think there's much else to say about this one. He's the bona fide number 1 in my opinion.
Yeah, he is kind of a diva a little bit, but he's been projected to be the number 1 pick for 2 years now, so he's gonna have a little swagger in his step. But with number 2, Washington on the clock, they traded Sam Howell to Seattle, which I think is huge for Seattle. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people, they're between Drake May or Jane Daniels. I'm going to go J.J. McCarthy here. No, I'm just kidding.
That would be crazy.
Just kidding. That would be insane. Yeah. But no, a lot of people are between Drake May and Jane Daniels. I've been saying it's going to be Jane Daniels for a long time, even though a lot of people are saying it's going to be Drake May. Drake May's locked in. Jane Daniels just matches the system better. They bring in Cliff Kingsbury, who's just, we've seen him work with Kyler Murray. We've seen him work with Caleb Williams. He needs kind of a guy that's a dual threat guy. And Drake May is still a hell of an athlete, but he's no Jane Daniels. And if he could just teach Jane Daniels to slide, I think that he could be super, super good in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. He is just dynamic playmaker. Yeah. I think he fits really well with Mount Washington in general. I think whatever quarterback goes to Washington is going to have a lot more success than your average number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Just because of their treasure trove of weapons there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Jaden Daniels. The couple of LSU games I watched today, in the last season, wowed me. So this would be super exciting, and I think that's a good landing spot for him. And I agree. I think if I'm doing this by myself, those are my 1 and 2 right there.
Yeah.
And then number 3, I am not going to be doing any particular trading in my picks if I can. So I'm not sure if I'm going to listen to the noise and think that my Minnesota might trade up here. But I think either way, at number 3, Drake May's going. Okay. I think QB is the most important position in football. I think that these 3 QBs all have, I don't think they're going to be bona fide, champions. I think that's really hard to say.
Right.
But I definitely think that all 3 have the capability of being quality NFL starters. And if that's the case, similar to a lot of other drafts where this happens, quarterbacks will come off in a row like this. So I think Drake May at 3 is where it's going to be.
Yeah, like you said, we don't know if it's going to be the Patriots, sticking and picking quarterback, because obviously that's a need for them. They did pick up Jacoby Brissett, but that's not a franchise guy. That's kind of just a Band-Aid bridge quarterback. Yeah, exactly. And I was scrolling down because I wanted to see where the Vikings were picking. But
11, if I remember correctly.
11, and then they traded for the Texans first as well. Mm-hmm. Both of them were odd numbers, so I let you do your thing. But if one of them was an even, I was gonna ask to trade up, but that's on you. But with the Arizona Cardinals here, this is another trade up spot. But I think that they stick and pick. They take Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yep.
They just lost Marquise Brown to free agency, which they weren't trying to bring him back anyway. Mm-hmm. They also just traded Rondale Moore, so I think the only receiver on their team is Greg Dortch.
Right.
I don't think.
Oh, and Michael Wilson, right?
Michael Wilson. How dare I forget Michael Wilson? The guy's a freaking monster.
He showed some flashes, but yeah, I don't think he's a bona fide number 1 coming into the offseason by any means.
He'll be a good number 2 to Marvin Harrison next year.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't think they signed or traded for anyone. So I was gonna have them trading out here, down with the Vikings, but why do that?
Right.
Marvin Harrison's on the board.
I think it makes sense, and I could also see the Patriots possibly taking Marvin Harrison if they decide to stick at number 3. But in my opinion, you get the QB, then you get the wide receiver. It's kind of hard to do it the other way around because it's very difficult to be that bad in the NFL as well. Getting these picks, you have to really be terrible. Otherwise, you're going to end up in this 6 through 10 range. So when you're in the top 3, you got to take your opportunity.
Yeah, now's the chance.
Yep, and so on to another team that really, this pick changes a lot with what has happened in the free agency.
Yeah, their
because they
offseason's
need
crazy.
pass catchers bad. They
Yeah.
need pass catchers really bad. So, like, I'm definitely thinking a wide receiver or a tight end are coming here. One particular tight end I think fits really well in the Los Angeles system. I'm putting Brock Bowers in the Chargers.
Wow.
Top five
pick.
Top 5 pick Brock Bowers. I've heard a lot of teams like bringing their entire staff to their meetings with Brock Bowers. I think he is this level of hype. I could definitely see them trading back and possibly getting him as well. Like, this would maybe be a good chance for Minnesota to trade up if they want somebody here. But I think that Bowers is going to land with the Chargers, and that's kind of how I'm going about this exercise, is which player is going to which team. And I think that this could happen at 5 if they don't find a trade back offer, or they could maybe, trade up with the Bears or the Titans if they want a particular wide receiver and they're willing to go backwards. But I think Bowers is a extremely talented tight end, and I think he'd fit in really well with the Chargers, and they need a pass catcher, somebody to build their offense around with Justin Herbert.
Yeah, I mean, right now, their number one target is Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
So, I definitely think they're going to take, either a wide receiver or tight end in the first round. A lot of people think they're going to take Joe Alt. I don't really see that happening.
I don't foresee that either.
I think they'll probably trade back if they can, because I think a team like the Vikings will want to jump, the Giants here. But a lot of smoke has been said that J.J. McCarthy is going to go off the board here to the Giants if he's still available. I just don't see it.
I don't see it either.
It's not going to happen.
I think it's hyped. I think
it's just bait for teams like the Vikings or the Broncos or the Raiders to jump up and try and jump them, which
Right.
I don't even know why they would do that, because it's not like any of those teams are in their division. But maybe it is real. Maybe they do take J.J. McCarthy at 6. Maybe they even trade up to take him, which would be psychotic.
Right. But it just doesn't make sense based off, again, the free agency move that they made, kind of making an all-in move going into Brian Burns.
Right.
They just traded a lot of draft capital and made this guy a very highly paid player.
Not a lot. Not too much. It was a 2nd and a 5th, I think. So
wasn't
not
it
too
a second
crazy.
next year as well, though? Or maybe it was
I don't think so. I think it was only 1 second.
Huh.
Like, they got him
That's
for a steal.
crazy.
That's
I
why
thought it was 2
Panthers fans.
seconds.
That's why Panthers fans are pissed.
Let me look into this real quick.
Well,
here.
it's supposed to be 2 firsts. That was the original offer.
Right, from the Rams, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
my god. That would have been a fleece. But anyway, while you're looking that up, I'll go ahead with the Giants pick. A lot of people also think Joe Alt could go here.
Oh my god, you're right, bro. The pick in 2025 is a 5th rounder.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
2nd and a 5th.
Okay, by the way, I do think that maybe they have an idea that they're better than the general consensus of NFL fans think. So
I think that their defense is really good.
Oh, for sure.
I think their
I
defense
think
is
that
really good. So
that's something to build around.
this is an offensive player for me. It's between Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze.
Mhm.
I mean, it's really just pick your poison. I know Malik Neighbors is highly touted as, the best wide receiver prospect. Well, it's between him and Marvin Harrison Jr., but I think they go Rome Odunze. He gives them the size that they've been wanting. They tried the Kenny Golladay signing. Didn't work out, obviously.
At all.
At all. He's out of the league now. And then all their other...
Is he really not even on the team?
Yeah. He's still a free agent. Well, I mean, maybe by the time we post this, he gets signed.
He could be signed late season. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he's not coming in
I think
as
he's
number
out.
one. Whereas, 3 years ago, he was the number one in
In
Detroit.
I mean, he was like one of the best dynasty players in the league.
It's crazy.
Like him and Juju Smith-Schuster. And now they're both free agents.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But I got Rome Odunze going here. He gives them the size that they need. All their other guys, Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt, they're all just slot guys, speed guys. They need somebody that brings size to the wide receiver room. Malik Neighbors doesn't really do that. Obviously, he's absolutely wonderful. I think he's still going to work out in the NFL, but I think Rome Odunze fits what the Giants are looking for.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pick a lot, and I agree. I think they're definitely going pass catcher here between one of the top two. Now this changes my thoughts a little bit. I thought that if Rome was here, the Titans would very easily go for a tackle. Their offensive line was I don't think it was by far, but I think they were 28th in the league offensive line wise or something like that.
I honestly,
it could be the worst.
I think it was.
It could literally be the worst.
Their left tackle position gave up more sacks than half the league. That position.
Right. And so with that said, we're going tackle. They kind of addressed their wide receiver needs in free agency by signing Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Now, do I think that's a better idea than drafting Malik Neighbors? That's a whole other question. And they also might have Neighbors higher up on the list. So, in this instance, I think if it's Rome or Joe Alt, it's Joe Alt easily for them. But if Neighbors is available, they might change their mind. Either way, I'm giving them a tackle here.
Yeah.
They need the protection. They need to build around their quarterback, and I do think that they're doing an okay job at that.
Yeah, I think that, they overpaid Calvin Ridley, sure, but I think that he really does bring them that wide receiver too. They still have D-Hop, obviously, but he's at, unfortunately, the end of his career, big D-Hop fan.
Mm-hmm.
But
he showed flashes still of being...
he still looked good last year, so he could still be a wide receiver 1, and Calvin Ridley can still play that other side. Mm-hmm. So I think they still do take a wide receiver somewhere in the draft, but I think if Joe Alt's available here, I think they go tackle regardless at 7, just because their O-line last year was atrocious.
Right. It's very tragic. And I think they made a move in free agency. I can't remember who it was, and I know that they drafted somebody high on the O-line last year, so then now you kind of have a young, solid core to, protect your quarterback with.
Yeah. Falcons on the board here. We haven't done a trade yet. I was kind of thinking of doing a trade here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who would trade up here, though, because someone would probably trade up for Malik Neighbors.
Yes.
The Falcons could also just take Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
But the only team I was thinking of was New Orleans, and I don't see them trading up with a division
Colts,
rival.
Dude, possibly.
I don't think so. They brought back Michael Pittman Jr.
Right.
I think
they're trying to go... It just depends. I don't personally think Neighbors is going to be here. Even if the draft does... And I mean, maybe it would, though. I don't know, because there's just such good talent.
Yeah.
The difference between him and Rome is close. It's not like it's egregious to say that one would go over the other.
I mean, we see talent fall in the draft every year.
Yeah.
So
That's a fact.
Who knows? The Falcons, though, they are pretty thin at wide receiver. They just have Drake London. I want to take Malik Neighbors
Drake London, Kyle
so
Pitts.
badly.
They did pick up Darnell Mooney, who's not like an excellent
that's
wide
right.
receiver. But
They did get Darnell, and they traded for Rondell Moore.
Yeah.
So,
they're
Malik
probably not
Neighbors.
targeting him. But the fact that he's here...
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do pick him up, that would be crazy for Kirk Cousins.
That would be insane. Oh,
From one LSU wide receiver to another. But that's not where we're going. We're going to go with Dallas Turner.
Yep.
I think it's going to be one of these two.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the first edge rusher off the board, first defensive player off the board. Does he want to go out?
He's begging for it. Come on, buddy.
Taking a quick pause. Milo, my cat, was trapped in the room with us, and he was bitching to go out. So, but with Dallas Turner on the board,
free.
He's Milo is a free man, and Dallas Turner, you are an Atlanta Falcon.
There you go. All right, Bears fans absolutely losing their fucking minds.
Yeah.
And this also might be, we didn't really think about this, I think the Bears might even throw them like a 4th round pick to move up to 8 at this point as well.
Just to move up 1?
I mean, possibly.
I was thinking
if
about
Neighbors
it,
is on the board, I think that, or Odunze, they might make a trade with either of these teams to throw, because I know they have a lot of extra draft picks too. Just go and get their guy. Bears fans are losing their minds. Caleb Williams and Malik Neighbors that's a 5-star draft right there. I mean,
already.
That's a stack.
Yeah.
That is something that people will consider going 1.01.
I
don't think they go 0.2 with it, but they did go 3. They would do a 0.3 for sure.
Maybe.
Or if they have 2 and 3 and someone picks MHJ first. Get that sack, baby. No, I really think that if the Bears come out of the top 10 with their quarterback and their number 1 wide receiver, they've succeeded. So I think that's kind of a no-brainer pick if the board ends up falling this way.
Yeah, I think so too. And they just got Keenan Allen. They still have DJ Moore. Now they get Malik Neighbors. I mean,
right? Yeah, that's
kind of what I was thinking. Is I don't think Malik Neighbors would really go 103 just off the board like that in your dynasty drafts. Just because, he's probably going to have to learn behind Keenan Allen for a year.
Sure.
He's kind of going to be in that Quentin Johnson role where he's instantly the wide receiver 3, maybe even 4.
Right. Same with JSN, too. We kind of saw
exactly.
those seasons play out the way that we predicted, too. So, hey, that's fair. That immediate impact isn't really going to be there.
But for the long-term dynasty impact...
If you're a rebuilding team...
That's the perfect pick for you.
Think about it.
But Jets on the board here. Yeah. They did just sign Tyron Smith. So they have a left tackle for 1 year.
Yep. And they signed a guard too, right? Morgan Moses from the...
He's a right tackle.
Oh, no, sorry. That's not what they got then, was it? That was another trade, I'm pretty sure.
Did he go to the Jets? He went somewhere.
They signed a Ravens guard. I can't remember what his name... Simpson, maybe?
Did they get Simpson?
Yeah, let's see. Jets free agency. I'm 99% sure they signed a guard.
Either way, I'm looking tackle. I would think wide receiver. I was also thinking of moving the Jets up to like 8 just to pass the Bears and get a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But
they did get Morgan Moses.
Yeah. So they have a left tackle. They have a right tackle now. but those guys aren't great. They aren't.
Yeah, and they signed John Simpson.
Really?
So I was right. Yeah.
So they're just bringing in the Ravens O-line and Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
A bunch of old guys. I still think that they want a guy that they can develop. They've been linked to Talise Fuaga for a while. I think they would still like Olu Fashanu down the board. I'm going to go with Talise Fuaga.
Okay.
Instant right tackle.
Yep.
Morgan Moses really isn't great. There's a reason why the Ravens wanted to let him go.
Mm-hmm.
So here you go.
No,
There's your future tackle.
I don't think you can have enough O-linemen with the way that their team is currently built. Like, if Aaron Rodgers is facing pressure, he's in rough shape.
Right.
Really, really rough shape.
I mean, we saw it happen last year.
Exactly. I mean, he got hurt.
Here we go.
And, so this one's
see what
easy.
you're doing.
This one's easy. I do really like this pick for the Jets. I think they need to stay and get a tackle. If Neighbors is a 10, they'll probably grab him anyway.
Yeah.
But I definitely think going offensive line here is the move. And I think the Vikings, I am not as high as most people are on J.J. McCarthy, but I'm high enough, and I think that he deserves to go to the Vikings here. And I think that this just kind of makes sense. I know these other teams are possibly QB needy, so if the Vikings are trying to actually run it with Sam Darnold and, maybe just grab like a guard or something here, but they'd want to tackle, I guess.
Their tackle room's okay.
Yeah, their tackle room is like fine. But yeah, so I feel like as far as like the board goes, you wouldn't really want to reach on like a guard here unless you have one of those tackles that you think might fit better as a guard, which I'm not that deep into my research yet.
It's just Trey Fox.
To know those guys. He's somebody who people are thinking he might have to move in.
He might move to guard.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. But now I feel like if the Vikings take a swing on J.J. McCarthy here, they can let Sam Darnold play 4 games. If he looks like ass, then they'll put him in. See what he looks like for a season. If they end up being terrible, then they can take another swing. And if they believe in their guy, then they can build around him for the next offseason. And I think that, with having another pick in the first round now as well, you might be able to find somewhere to help him on the offensive line or possibly in the weapons room as well.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. I think Vikings go quarterback first round no matter what, whether they trade up. I mean, we saw them stock up on first round picks. They have another one later in the draft. What do they have, 23?
23, yeah.
So, they could package those picks up, move up to 3 maybe.
Yeah.
That's,
like
the smoke right now.
If they like Drake May. And I feel like it is going to go 1 and 2 as we predicted it. So
yeah. So I think that they could move up to 3. A lot of people are saying J.J. McCarthy's going to go top 6, maybe even top 5. I say top 6 because the Giants picked there. But I think he's going to have a Will Levis type of fall where everyone's saying he's going to be locked for top 4 and he falls all the way to the second round. I don't think J.J. McCarthy falls all the way to the second round, but I don't think he's going to go in the top 5. I don't see a team really trading up into a top 5, which is paying a lot. Like, if you're trading up to, like, pick 11, let's say, it's not as expensive as trading up to a top 5 pick.
Right. Or
it's a lot.
And, the Vikings might also be thinking that he's going to be available in the late 20 range, and that might be why they went to grab that Cleveland pick, because then they can, hop up to 18 or something and try to grab him. So
I don't know about that, though, just because right here, the Denver Broncos have 12. Like, is Jarrett Stidham even still their starting quarterback?
I believe that
know who it is.
I believe that is that's their projected starter at the moment.
They're in shambles.
Yeah, that's not
And we're not going to go Bo Nix here. We're not going to go Michael Penix Jr. here. They are just in a full rebuild.
Man.
They're in a
really
full rebuild. They literally, their only good players, Pat Surtain. And I mean, I guess you could argue Cortland Sutton, Javonte Williams, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Those are just fine players, but they're not
just
franchise cornerstones.
They are.
I mean, the way that they've been cutting and trading players, they might not even be wrong. Pat Surtain, they need to sign for life, but
I don't know. I think you could trade him.
I just don't. I was having this debate a little bit with Zach. When you have good players on your team, just sign them, bro. You can't you can get any number of first round picks. What if all those guys suck ass? Well,
I mean, the thing is that the Broncos suck ass.
Well, yeah,
so it's like.
But if the Broncos are going to be good within 5 years, Pat Surtain's going to be good for 5 years. So it's like, why are you trading him?
How do you know he's going to be good in 5 years, though? We've seen guys like Josh Norman have a pretty short prime and just, kind of fall off.
That is the cornerback position. That's a fact. But I don't think Josh Norman was... He had, a season
it was just an
at
example.
That level. Yeah, that's
just an example.
Yeah. No, that's a fact. And I can kind of see that. But that's always been my philosophy is, if you have a guy who's under 26 that's performing well, why not just sign him until he's 31 or 30?
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm going to go in a completely different direction here. We're not even going to go offense. I'm kind of build this defense up a little bit.
Going best player available here?
We're going, well, it depends on who you think is best player available because there's a lot of good players here at different positions.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go with the best edge rusher available. It's gonna be Jared Verse.
I like this pick a lot.
Just a super strong guy. I think he's 6'5". Let's see, 6'4", but I'm pretty sure he listed as 6'5" on the combine. 260. Mm-hmm. He's freaking explosive, man, and he's absolutely strong as hell. Just start to build that defense up. They're not going to be good this year, so you might as well just start to build the defense and, kind of go with the way the Falcons were building it, where they built an entire offense around a quarterback and then they just brought in a quarterback,
right?
Like Kirk Cousins. So I think that's what they're going to do. They're not going to be good this year no matter what they do, whether they trade up for J.J. McCarthy. Maybe J.J. McCarthy falls in their lap. Maybe they take Bo Nix or they take Penix. They're not going to be good regardless. Like, they have Cortland Sutton and, they still have Marvin Mims, who they're trying to develop, but Rome wasn't built in the day.
Right. Nah, they're on a 3-year plan because they're paying $40 million to a quarterback who's not on their team for the next 2 years.
Where is he, by the way? Wait, this isn't a Russell Wilson jersey?
Yeah, hold on.
We'll get there.
Somebody get the duct tape. All right. On to the Raiders, who pretty much just got worse this offseason.
I don't know.
They signed Gardner Minshew. They signed Christian Wilkins, which is a great deal in my opinion. That's a nice pass rushing duo.
Yeah.
They did lose one of their corners, and this is a solid corner class in my opinion.
Yeah.
I personally like Kenyon Mitchell better than Cooper DeJean.
Me too.
And I'm gonna go ahead and make him a Raider.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, 13 start. Defense is their bread and butter at this point in time. Make it better.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna be super good in Antonio Pierce's system too. I mean, absolutely amazing pick here. It could be any corner off the board here.
Yeah, I don't dislike Cooper. I don't dislike Cooper. Let me put that down there as well. But I just think because I actually watched Kenny Mitchell play for the whatever conference Toledo plays in championship as well as the bowl game, and he was just a dog, dude.
He's a dog,
I'm big on him, and I think he's gonna have a good career.
Freak athlete too.
Oh yeah.
Saints on the board here, like. Some of these teams are so difficult to pick for. Mm-hmm. Like the Saints and the Packers, I always find myself having no idea what I'm doing.
Right. Because the Saints just kind of need general upgrades. They're not in a position to get a game changing player here.
It's like this every year for them too. Yeah. I feel like they just put a bunch of names in a hat and just pick one out.
Maybe wide receiver makes sense to pair with Olave.
I was thinking
but
that
at this
too.
point, it's kind of fallen off. There's still good wide receivers left, but I'm not sure if it's
the value's not there, really. Which, I mean, depending on how you view Brian Thomas and, the other guys, I could see them picking a wide receiver here. It's not what I'm going to do. I think that oh my God, I always shit on him. Their tackle that they picked, I think 2 years ago, white guy, I don't remember his name, Trevor Penning. Trevor Penning did not work out. The guy, if you watch any interview of him, the guy should be locked up in prison for some stuff that he said.
It's crazy.
He said, I love playing offensive line because it's the only job in the world where you could legally maul somebody. I was like, that's an interesting thing to say as a human being.
Jesus.
But he sucks. So it doesn't matter. Ryan Ramczyk is their right tackle. He has a bunch of injury concerns. He might not even be back next year. So I'm going to take a tackle for them, and I'm going to take Olu Fashanu, who fell all this way.
Yeah, that seems like a really solid pick for them.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they aren't in love with Derek Carr, even though they just signed him last year. But I don't think they're going to take a quarterback first round, maybe down the board.
I don't think at this point any quarterback, if the board falls this way, they'd be insane to take Bo Nix or Michael Penix at this point.
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and set you up with the Colts.
Oh, yeah.
Which I know you're locked in for.
Yeah, the Colts are big. They're my guys. They're my second favorite team. And this is sick because we definitely want to get another wide receiver on this team. I think Alec Pierce and God dang it. Dude, I'm going to be pissed. I can't remember the dude's name.
Josh Downs?
Josh Downs. Yeah, I kept trying to say Jalen Hyatt. I don't know why. But yeah, I think those are solid wide receivers, but I don't know if they're bona fide number twos. And I feel like if you get 4... at this point in the NFL, you probably want 5 good receivers on your team. It really is not going to do any disservice to you to change up your formations and stuff.
Yeah.
But they would love to get somebody to pair with Kenny Moore on the back end of the secondary.
Yeah. Like
I said, I like Kenyon Mitchell better, and I hope that the Raiders don't actually pick him so he can be a Colt. But if not, Cooper DeJean is a great cornerback, and I think he's going to fit really well in that Colts defense.
There we go, baby. And Cooper DeJean can play anywhere in the secondary. He can play in the slot.
Right.
He can play safety, which is, I mean, he's probably not going to play in the slot with Kenny Moore there.
Yeah.
But Cooper DeJean can play. He can still play boundary corner too. So
right, and the Colts have Juju Brents, one of their draft picks from last year, coming back from injury, and when he was on the field, he was looking good. So I think like those three guys covering your best wide receivers, that's a nice way to build a defense right there.
They're a problem. Mm-hmm. Here with Seattle, I tend to go the same way every time, but I'm actually going to switch it up today.
Okay.
I usually go Trey Fautanu.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that makes a lot of sense
because he. Listen, doesn't have to move very far.
Washington guy, yeah.
Doesn't have to move very far. He could play, guard or center. I don't think he can play center, but he can play guard for them. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and take a center. I'm going to take Jackson Powers-Johnson off the board here. Usually I have him falling a little bit, but he had an amazing combine. He had an amazing Senior Bowl. So I think the hype is real, and I think this is kind of like his ceiling, like the highest he'll be able to go. Mm-hmm. But I think that he's a lock for the first round, for the first round, even as a center, which is crazy. But yeah, I think that this really helps. They brought in Sam Howell, like I said. Geno Smith isn't the long-term plan.
Right.
It says the edge is a need for them. It's really not. They have Nwosu. They have, oh my God, I literally just had his name in my mind and I forgot it. But they're okay on edge. Like, they could use a third one for depth, but they could take that later. They did lose Bobby Wagner, but it's kind of too early to go linebacker. They cut both their safeties.
It's too early for sure.
They cut both their safeties, so I was actually thinking Cooper DeJean here, but we got sniped. So
that would be sweet, actually. You're right. Yeah, because he'd be kind of... Yeah, so if the Raiders decide to pass on corner, that could be an easy fault for him. But no, I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. This is right around that area where a lot of the high-level centers, like, I think Tyler Linderbaum got picked, like, 19 or 20, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so, the Seattle loves trading back in the draft. They literally fiend for it. So, like, they could easily...
I could have traded
If somebody likes something, then they could go back to 20 and get the center. But, yeah, I think in the end, this is a really good fit for them, either him or Fontenot. And I'm kind of stuck on a decision that is similar to Seattle's here, whether I go guard or corner. I do like these defensive linemen. Like, I think Byron Murphy's a dog. I'm not really familiar with
Johnny Newton's a freaking dog.
He's
too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. I need to do some more research into him.
He might go ahead of Byron Murphy. He is a dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right. Well, I need to keep that in mind for a couple of these teams up here need some defensive help.
Yeah.
I definitely think the Jaguars need some defensive help, but God, their O-line is also kind of a struggle. It's tough because I feel like if he's available, they're probably not going to let him go. So
yeah,
we're sending Troy to the Jags. I do think that in general, if there's not maybe they would take Jackson Powers-Johnson as well.
Right.
But I am hearing that they're kind of more interested in the defensive back thing, and then Darius Williams just left them for the Rams again, right? Yeah. So somebody who was taking number one stops for them is no longer on the team, so I could definitely see them possibly going corner there as well.
Yeah, I think it's between offensive line or corner help for the Jags, and Trey Fautanu can play anywhere on the line. So there you go. And you took Anton Harrison last year. He didn't really play much.
Right. And
so if they need somebody to play tackle, Trey Fautanu can move back to tackle. We don't know where he's going to play in the NFL yet. But speaking of offensive line, the Bengals need offensive line help. I really want to go with... Oh, no. I'm not going offensive line.
I feel like if one of these two are available, they're picking up the phone immediately.
And I'm going Johnny Newton, baby.
Okay.
I'm going Johnny Newton. He doesn't have to move far, just from Illinois over to Ohio.
Yep.
And they just lost DJ Reader, who was huge for them last year. This is your instant DJ Reader replacement. So there you go, Bengals fans. I hope you don't like it because Steelers. But I mean, it's a good pick for them.
And I think that either of these two guys, the Rams are going to be super happy with. They obviously just lost Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
If these two guys are available, and they could also be a trade up candidate if one of them starts to fall, kind of in this range, and one of these guys wants to move back. But yeah, Byron Murphy to the Rams. I think that's a great fit, honestly.
Yeah, it is.
Put him next to
our boy.
Yeah, our guy, the presumptive, the defensive rookie of the year.
The guy who should have won it.
Yeah. But
we can't even remember his name.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
you can't remember, but I can't either.
But I know that he is raw, and I
Yeah.
know that as soon as the season starts up, we'll be in there again.
Yeah.
And pair those two up, that's a menacing middle.
His name is on the tip of my tongue. It's gonna bother me.
Yeah, it's gonna bother me so bad, dude.
I think it's like something
It's
Turner,
Ronnie,
right?
isn't it?
No. I don't remember his name. But listen, with the Steelers on the board, while you look that up, I'm gonna yap. Because I'm gonna yap, baby. Because listen, I'm wearing the Kenny Pickett jersey. Bye bye. So long.
Kobe Turner.
Kobe Turner, there it is, baby. Kobe
Ronnie,
Turner, our
that's
guy.
close. That's close.
It was not close.
Come on.
But Kenny Pickett, hasta la vista, bitch. Because we got Russell Wilson, we got Justin Fields
For a fourth. Maybe.
for a sixth. Because Russell Wilson's going to play 51% of snaps, and then as soon as he hits that threshold, we're taking him out. So, yeah, the Steelers, oh my God. I think this is the best offseason we've ever had, like, ever, maybe.
It's
At least since I've been alive.
They're one of the. I mean, they're easily one of the winners this year, this offseason.
I think they're the biggest winner. I mean, we fixed our quarterback room. We got rid of all 3 quarterbacks that were in our quarterback room last year. All 3 are out the door. See you later. And now we have 2 starters last year. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
The one move I don't know. I see why we did it. I know why we traded Deontay Johnson, but like we didn't get a whole lot back.
Mm-hmm.
Like we got a corner who's 28.
Yeah.
Who's like he'll play cornerback 2 for us, but like we're gonna take a corner in the draft, and it's gonna be right here.
Yeah, I mean, God, this is a thick corner draft.
Yeah.
You love to see it because the Bills need to get a corner too, so you love to see the opportunity. I don't think they're gonna go first round corner, but we'll see. We'll see.
Whenever I pick for the Steelers, I'm always between Jackson Powers-Johnson, who's off the board.
Yep.
I'm between a corner like Terry and Arnold, who's still here, or I'm between a guy like Amarius Mims, who can instantly play right tackle for us.
So people are saying Terrian is better than Kool-Aid at this point?
Yes.
Interesting.
So the thing with Terry and Arnold and Kool-Aid is so Kool-Aid was coming in last season, and they were saying, okay, he's the quarterback 1. He had a super great season 2 years ago, so we're just not going to target the ball. We're not going to target him at all, right? So they were only throwing to Terry and Arnold's side, which gave Terry and Arnold
a bunch of good tape,
a lot of good opportunities, and he excelled. He proved, okay, this guy, we can't throw to him either. So
nice.
Alabama has 2 probably first-round cornerbacks on in this draft. So that's why Terrion Arnold is listed. He's probably going to get taken.
He's listed way above him, which I think that's too much. If you want to say he's better, like that's fine. But Kool-Aid's
still him.
A dog, dude.
Kool-Aid's still him for sure. And going into last year, everyone thought he was going to be the first corner off the board.
Right.
We already have 2 off the board.
Yes.
And
I do
don't think he's going to be third.
Kenyon Mitchell has shown that he's probably maybe a little bit better in that.
I think Quinton Mitchell will be the first corner off the board.
I think so too.
I think Terrion Arnold might go before Cooper DeJean, but I think Cooper DeJean is a better fit for the Colts.
Yeah.
And then I think both of these guys go before Nate Wiggins. Nate Wiggins kind of fell off after the draft. He injured himself after the draft. He ran well, but he injured himself, and he's kind of like too light. So teams might be a little scared of that.
Mm-hmm. I could see him being kind of in the JBJ very beginning of the second round kind of realm for him. Yeah,
I think so too. Similar to, I think, did Andrew Booth Jr. play for Clemson? I don't remember. Okay, well, I think it'll be similar to him where he falls to the second round. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of torn though. I'm torn between Terrion Arnold and Amarius Mims because we traded for Dante Jackson, so we did address the corner position in the offseason. We did not address the tackle position at all. We traded away our backup right tackle, and we just have not signed one, have not traded for one. So I'm actually going to go offensive tackle. I know I said we were going to go corner. I'm going to go Amarius Mims. He can instantly start at right tackle, and Broderick Jones can move back to the left tackle. And then our offensive line, besides center, which we could probably address in the second or third round, is set. We are good to go. All we need is center. So, and then we'll address receiver later in the draft as well. I could see us trading up for Roma Dunze. That's a lot of smoke going on right now. I think that if he falls to around 7, 8, 9 range, I could see Omar Khan pulling a big boy move. But for right now, we still haven't traded at all. I don't really mind. It's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the way that the board's falling
Me
right
too.
now.
No, I agree.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Right.
So,
And yeah, I think here. Do you know of these three if there's either that you could push in a guard possibly?
so
Because I feel like the Dolphins don't need a tackle; they need a guard more than anything.
So Graham Barton, they can move to guard. Scroll down a little bit. Go to stats. Scroll down a little bit. So he played left tackle his whole college career, but they can move him into guard if they really want to.
And I mean, they might also be able to push one of their tackles back into not Teron Armstead, obviously. But
I mean, even
tackle good too.
Austin Jackson, he had a pretty good year last year. And he started his career pretty shitty.
Yeah.
So I can see corner going here because they just lost Xavier Howard.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they didn't replace him. Could see edge.
Edge too, yeah.
They got a lot of needs.
I feel like line is because they did address a lot of their defensive needs kind of in free agency. So I think maybe they're targeting a.
Well, they lost Christian Wilkins.
Right.
They lost.
So one
Williams.
Of these defensive tackles is available.
Oh yeah, that would be huge for them.
Mm-hmm.
But in this draft, they're not. So sorry. I think that they could go. That could be a trade down spot too.
Yeah, this could easily.
I think this actually is a trade down spot for a team that wants Taron Arnold or Leatu Latu or maybe even J.C. Latham.
And you know who really wants a corner is you know what? I'm not gonna do it.
How are you gonna do?
I was gonna just put the Vikings up here to grab one of these corners, but they would just wait because they can get one of the two.
Yeah.
We'll just put an edge to the Dolphins. That doesn't make a lot of sense either, though. We're gonna put Graham Barton to the Dolphins. Right. I feel like they are just gonna grab an offensive lineman. You can really never have too many of those. None of those like defensive fits really excite me. For just the way that I kind of like see their like structures going. So I think that grabbing a tackle that you could possibly move to guard makes the most amount of sense to me.
And even if you want to keep him at left tackle, Teron Armstead, he played like half the year last year.
And that's kind of his
MO. He's old.
That's kind of his MO is like 10 games a season.
Yeah, he's
10
really
games a season, he is
the best left tackle in the NFL.
But yeah, that's kind of his MO. So I agree. I actually think that makes a lot more sense with that comment.
Yeah. So I really like that pick. Eagles here. I do also think that a team could easily try and jump the Eagles because we could see the Eagles go for Taron Arnold, which might be the pick for me. It's probably not going to be the pick for me because every time the Eagles are here and this guy's on the board, I usually take him. So Tyler Guyton makes a lot of sense. Lane Johnson called him out and literally said, like, hey, I want you guys to draft Tyler Guyton. Lane Johnson went to Oklahoma. He wants to train up Tyler Guyton so that he can be Lane Johnson's eventual replacement, which we saw last year.
God, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, we saw it last year. Jason Kelsey said the same thing about, I forget who the center they drafted last year to replace him, but he said the same thing. He said, hey, draft this guy. We're going to bring him in, and I'm going to, individually train him to become the next me. And that's exactly what they did. That's why they were kind of not panicking about him retiring. I think the same thing's going to happen this year. Tyler got into the Eagles.
Okay.
They always draft trenches. They always need corner.
They do.
They could go wide receiver, but they always go offensive line or defensive line.
Yeah.
And I don't see that trend, falling off this year.
It's been working, so, might as well continue going with it. And I agree. There's such a deep corner class, they can just find another one in the second round.
Right.
Or trade up if they really like a guy. On to the Vikings, and they could really do anything with this pick.
You had J.J. McCarthy going here.
Yeah, I had J.J. McCarthy to the squad. I don't think they're going to grab his wide receiver pairing mate at this point, especially not Brian Thomas Jr. That seems a little early for him. I don't really love any of these receivers. Yeah, I don't really love any of these receivers. Tight ends, definitely not. I mean, their tackles are fine too, kind of like we said. Mm-hmm. I mean, they threw a lot at their defensive line. Maybe it is just corner. I feel like, especially with the scheme that they were running last year with just infinite blitzes, you need a man guy. And I think both Alabama corners are pretty good. They could maybe grab Nate Wiggins to try to get the two Clemson teammates.
Clemson guys.
But I think you know what? I'm actually going to go with my own personal bias.
Okay.
Kool-Aid.
I think
Kool-Aid's better. Get Kool-Aid on the Vikings, baby.
Hey, that's a hot take.
Kool-Aid.
Purple Kool-Aid's a great.
Kool-Aid, bro.
That's
That
a
shit
hot
would be
take.
sick. Yeah, but I do think they're gonna grab a defensive back. If the consensus is that Terrian is better, or they like him better, then I could see any of the three corners going there.
Yeah.
I think Kool-Aid is the better. He's the best third corner in my opinion. So let's put him on the Vikings.
Hey, I mean, all these teams have different draft boards too.
Yeah.
There could be There could be teams that have Kool-Aid still as the number one corner in the draft.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't hate this pick at all. I think that it's definitely in the realm of possibilities, and I think that they do eventually go corner.
Mm-hmm.
But we got Cowboys on the clock here. This is another weird
spicy,
team.
dude,
This is another weird team where I don't know. We've seen them go best player available before with CeeDee Lamb, even though it wasn't really a need. Now, obviously, what a wonderful pick.
Mm-hmm.
But last year they
That's why
took
you do that
Mozzie
shit,
Smith.
man.
Last year they took Mozzie Smith, which
Seemed like a need pick.
I don't know. It wasn't the sexiest pick when Jerry Jones usually does have sexy picks. So if he was trying to go sexy pick here, I would go Leatu Latu.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they go towards more of a need pick.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Cowboys fans are going to feel about this, but they just cut Michael Gallup Jr., which saved $8 million cap space. They haven't made any. They are the least active team when it comes to the offseason this year. But I think Brian Thomas Jr. makes a lot of sense for them here.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
For certain.
because it's just Brandon Cooks is still there, but he's old. He's Brandon Cooks.
He did start coming along at the end of the season, but
No, he had a good season. For
you
sure.
can't be just CD and Cooks. That's not going to do it at this point in time of the
NFL. So that's exactly why I wanted to add in a receiver here. If Brian Thomas is still on the board at 24, I think that's a steal for the Cowboys. I think Jerry Jones is, I was going to say running up to the podium, but let's be honest, he's going to pay somebody to do it.
He's calling that in from the yacht.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's actually exactly, I forgot about that. Yeah. What a sick way to draft, by the way.
The yacht, baby.
Just on a yacht.
On the ocean. Taking the NFL
He's
roster.
on maritime law.
But yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I feel like that is, a good CD, not a
counterpart.
That is a good
compliment.
Yes, exactly, yeah, good compliment to CD.
There we go.
He's not. He could be. We never know with any of these wide receivers, but that's a good move, and I think that the Packers are very happy with the way that this landed. They're grabbing Latham from Alabama for sure.
That.
They need O-line. Bakhtiari has.
He got cut.
He's no longer on the team.
Yeah.
He really hasn't been playing well for them for a long time.
Right.
And I think again, Latu is making quite the fall here.
He really
and
is.
I could see the Packers grabbing him as well. But I think with a new vacancy at tackle, and a new kind of. They've been focusing a lot on their offense. I think it makes sense to grab a tackle here. And I think that this is a little bit late for him as well.
I think so, too.
I think he could easily go in the 20s.
Yeah, he definitely fell. But that's just the way the draft goes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's still insane talent on the board.
Terry Arnold is nice, dude. I'm not sleep. I'm underprepared on Terry Arnold. The next time that we do a draft, I will have watched tape on him, and I'll have a true defensive
and Austin's going to pick him top 5.
Yeah, he's going to... Bro, he blew me away! But, no, I definitely think that this is a possibility, Because, there's only so many corners.
Yeah.
They're taking 4 already,
Yeah.
It's not like we're not taking corners.
But, that's just the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks on the board here, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I have them going best player available, but I don't know whether that's Leatu Latu or Terry Arnold. Because they just got rid of Carlton Davis.
Yep.
That's their CB1. And he's gone. They don't have anybody else. They also got rid of Shaq Barrett.
Yep.
So they need edge really badly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really tough.
Yeah.
If you're a Bucks fan, I would love to know what Bucks fans what they would do here.
We need Andy take on this.
Yeah, we needed Andy take, a Thomas Matthews take on here. So hey, if you're a Bucks fan, comment down below what you would do here. But we're gonna go with Leatu Latu.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking too.
It's just
a good value.
It's such good value, and oh my god, that defense would still be insane.
Yeah,
it's so incredible watching Bucks games because we're Florida boys.
Mm-hmm.
They're the closest team to us, so when we go to Bucks games, they're actually really good.
Yeah, they're nice.
I know that's not a hot take. They're picking here at 26. They made it to the second round of the playoffs, but they're actually really fun to watch, even without Tom Brady.
No, 100%.
So
yeah,
Leatu Latu, boom.
And it makes a lot of sense. They've invested in their edge and linebacker rooms, and it's done a lot of come to fruition for them every single time. So that makes a lot of sense, and I think the Cardinals are running to the podium here. Their secondary and wide receiver are their biggest needs, in my opinion, and they just addressed both in the first round. Terry and Arnold, number 27 of the Cardinals.
Yeah, I feel
like that's an excellent draft for them.
Oh yeah,
if they end up with these two, or even if they get Kool-Aid here, it's like bet.
Yeah.
That seems like a really solid haul.
I think even if Terry and Arnold went to the Bucks, they would take Leatu Latu and still be celebrating
happy with that as well.
Yay!
I agree. Yep.
So so yeah, I think Cardinals fans, you're happy with this draft.
Yep.
Because you're gonna have Marvin Harrison Jr. lining up against Terry and Arnold in practice, and they're just gonna steel sharpen steel, baby.
Exactly.
So Bill's on the clock here. I don't want your help.
That is so funny. You say still sharpen steel because you're a Steelers fan.
Yeah. Steel sharpen steel,
I just realized that,
bro. You like that one? Listen, they really need quarterback. Bo Nix is on the board. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding, bro. You guys brought back Mitch Trubisky. You don't need quarterback.
No, we're set, man.
But you do need... Okay, remind me what you guys have done this offseason besides just get rid of a lot of players.
We got Curtis Samuel.
That's right.
We got... we re-signed our defensive tackle. We re-signed AJ Epinesa on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
We extended Deion Dawkins. We got some random linebacker. So that's pretty much it.
And then you got rid of both safeties.
Rid of Mitch. Yeah, both safeties are gone.
And your
our
best
center
corner
is gone. And which one?
Your best corner, Trey White.
Well, no, we have Russell Douglas now, but yeah, Trey White also got. Yeah, we need a corner unless Kirill steps up, but we've seen how that works. Christian Benford is nice too.
I like Christian Benford.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's like a bona fide. He'd be better as a 3. But our slot corner is set for sure because we still have. What is wrong with me? Taron Johnson. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, Taron Johnson.
I kept trying to say Teron Armstead for some reason. I was like, no.
It's actually crazy that Trey White is still a free agent as we record this.
It's just because he's coming off an Achilles, bro. Nobody knows.
Still,
I hope he signs with the Bills 1 year, like $2.5 million. I'd love to see it.
Oh, my God. That'd be a steal.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Anyway, Bills on the clock.
Yep.
I don't think they go tackle.
No, not this early. I don't think tackle's a need either.
I don't either.
Spencer Brown, our right tackle, was very solid.
But I think one of your tackles... Didn't you cut one of your tackles?
No, we cut our center.
Okay.
So center could be a possibility here.
Okay. That's interesting.
Wide receiver, it definitely, from what I've been reading, corner, wide receiver, or center seem to be like the...
Not linebacker?
No.
Because I was thinking Peyton
not this
Wilson.
Early. Like... It's possible, but the Bills in general run 2 linebacker sets more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really like a priority normally.
But Matt Milano should be back by
Matt Milano should be back. He was possibly going to play if they made it to the AFC Championship.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Then he'll
Which, yeah.
Okay.
That could be capped, too, because it was like a hairline fracture, so who knows, like... when those are very, there's not, like, a solid time frame.
I'm not going to go linebacker here, though. I'm thinking Nate Wiggins. Who are the other corners? I know TJ Tampa's still on the board, but I think it's too early for him.
Yeah.
Too early for Mike. Kamari Lassiter is falling. Ennis Rakestraw Jr. is falling. He ran like a 4.6 40. So,
oof.
Yeah, they're both falling.
He's second round pick for sure.
Maybe even later. Nate Wiggins, like this is around the range, but I think that they'd rather go with a guy like Adonai Mitchell, who's going to be my pick. I was also thinking Zach Frazier, but 2 centers in the first round just feels...
Yeah, I feel like they could just trade up or try to get one in the second,
Yeah.
And I do believe they're planning on switching Connor McGovern from guard to center, so
okay,
that should help a little bit with that.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Adonai Mitchell is going to be the pick here.
All right, I love it. A.D. Mitchell, nice wide receiver.
Curtis Samuel is not. He's an answer, but he's not the answer.
Correct.
He's going to be a nice piece, but he's more of a role player. He's probably going to play in the slot a little bit for you guys, probably a bit. And then you can put Adonai Mitchell and Stephon Diggs on the outside.
Yeah.
Did you see Stephon Diggs' tweet the other day, though?
No, what did he say?
He said, "I'm ready for anything," or something like that. Like,
okay.
kind of luring to the
idea
that he'd be traded or cut.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Definitely won't cut him, but I mean, if we trade him, then it kind of is what it is. It's a new era in Buffalo, but I feel like at this point you gotta just run it back. Like know, it's just like the money is too great to kind of do anything besides that. You need to. He's in the plans, you know.
Yeah.
But with that said, we got the Lions on the clock. I know they've addressed a lot of their secondary needs, but I think if Nate Wiggins is here, they're probably slamming that.
Yeah, they're in a position where they could just take best player available.
Right.
They're pretty stacked like everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And I could see. I mean, I just don't think Zach Frazier is going to. What? Why does it say they need a center? Did their guy leave or something? I didn't think.
I don't think so.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It's just like they didn't know what to put. PFF
Right.
didn't know what to put because they're pretty stacked everywhere. So they're just like, we'll just put some random shit out there.
I think we're grabbing a CB here, and I think that they'd be
sense.
very happy with that pick, honestly.
Yeah, I think they go corner. I think their corner number one is still Cam Sutton.
It's who they just traded for from the Bucks now.
Oh, it's Carlton Davis.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, whatever. He had a shitty season in Tampa Bay last year.
He had a pretty rough season.
They still have Cameron Sutton, who they thought was going to come in and be CB1 from the Steelers. He's not that good.
And don't they have Emmanuel Mosley, too, who came back from a torn ACL and then tore his other ACL?
Okay, Jesus.
I'm pretty sure that happened, yeah.
God, if so,
tragic, dude.
R.I.P. I mean, even if that did happen, he's not the answer. So I think Nate Wiggins here makes a lot of sense. You know, you take... Nate Wiggins was a lot of people's cornerback one. He still could be a lot of people's cornerback ones, but after the combine, he kind of fell a little bit, even though he ran well.
I'm on those big injury stuff. It's especially for soft tissue injuries on corners. They tend to stick around.
Yeah.
Because Kerry Lum, I've made comments before. Like he definitely needs to improve, but it sounds like his ankle was messed up. And that doesn't help with anything, you know. You can't guard the best wide receivers in the world with a bum ankle, you know. It just doesn't work. So if your stuff's not working, suffered a torn ACL week 5, came back to play in week 5, and suffered an ACL on his right knee.
Nice.
Yep.
What a fucking horrendous.
Yeah, man, sucks.
Turn of events.
He was raw too, bro, with the Niners. Oh, but yeah, the Lions are trying. They're trying real hard with the CBs, so I think that going there will make a lot of sense.
Ravens on the board. Obviously, division rival of my Pittsburgh Steelers, so I'm kind of plugged in on them. They keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I try to stay in the loop for the Ravens, and I'm making a pretty. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. I saw who it was, but like we said. They got rid of Morgan Moses. Ronnie Stanley kind of sucks. He's always injured, and when he plays, he's not great.
And they got rid of that other dude, too.
Ask any Ravens fan.
John Simpson.
Yep, John Simpson, gone. They still need some wide receiver help. Odell's not coming back. They just have Zay Flowers and Bateman.
Yeah,
and Bateman's
find
kind of a stinker.
Idiot team to pay him $10 million.
Yep. They need corner pretty badly as well. Edge isn't as much of a pressing need. Like Jadeveon Clowney, I don't think he's going to be back, but it's not a huge need for them. But
they
O-line
tend to just have 10 edge rushers on their roster anyway.
Yeah. But O-line is a huge need for them, and a specific one is Jordan Morgan. They kind of know that he's going to be in around this range.
Oh, for sure.
They were one of the 3 teams that spoke to him at the Combine, and they actually had 2 separate private workouts with him at the Combine, Jordan Morgan.
Damn. Okay.
So
that's a plugged-in pick right there.
Yeah, I'm kind of plugged in on that one. So he's heavily linked in with the Arizona Cardinals, the Baltimore Ravens, the real dirty birds, the rat birds. So Jordan Morgan to the Ravens. If Ravens fans, you don't like it, you're pissed off. Oh, we wanted Tyler Nubin. Oh, we wanted Ladd McConkey. Go fuck yourselves.
Well, there you go. On to the Niners. My favorite NFC team. And maybe the Cowboys, though. I don't know. I have to make my own hierarchy, just because Kyle.
Fuck Kyle.
When you're born 3 weeks later and right down the street from your boy, you kind of screw with their team. You know, you love their teams.
Yeah.
But they love.
This is another pick like
very
the Lions.
Interesting. Yeah, and this is also kind of late in the first round where it's not need anymore. I feel like if Tyler Newman's here, they might just grab him. They do have 2 good safeties, though, is kind of my only issue with that. Maybe they grab another wide receiver. That I could
easily
see.
could.
I actually think grabbing a wide receiver makes a lot of sense. Let's see here. Because I don't really love Lad McConkey myself. That's too high. Troy Franklin is fast, right?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy fast.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they... Ayuk is really fast, too.
But there's been a lot of
there's a
trade
different
rumors.
level, yeah. I feel like Troy Franklin makes a lot of sense for the Niners, and I'd like to see him in the...
I love that pick.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Also, I do like A.D. Mitchell better, but I think if A.D. Mitchell gets taken, the Bills could take Troy Franklin as well.
I think so, too.
They like that. They want that burner.
Yeah, I also think Troy Franklin could go over A.D. Mitchell, depending on who the Bills like more.
Yeah.
I
feel like they're in the same tier.
Yeah, I think they are, too. And I think Troy Franklin really would work in Kyle Shanahan's offense.
Yeah.
But here we are on the clock, Kansas City Chiefs.
Champions. Hopefully they have a terrible season next year.
Yeah. We have not done a single trade, if you guys haven't noticed.
Oh, yeah.
This will be our first trade.
Oh, baby.
This will be our first trade. And it will not be the Carolina Panthers. It will be... I wanted to do the Denver Broncos, but it just wouldn't make sense.
They're in division, yeah. Well, I mean, they could, maybe if they tax them.
They could. We've seen it happen before.
We could also see the Niners trade back there, too.
Yeah, the
if
Niners
they're not
could
in love
trade.
with Troy Franklin.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe it won't be a trade down spot. Yeah, it's just... If the Broncos or the Raiders are going to move up, it's going to be with 31, probably.
Yeah, because the Chiefs are probably going to say, screw you.
Yeah, they're going to say, nope, let's hope you get your guy in the second round. Haha. But I guess we'll just stick and pick. Fuck it. Whole first draft, no trades.
I love it.
No
I
actually
mock
don't
draft,
love
baby.
it.
I love it, dude.
But I'm
The
saying
next
in the real life.
Oh,
in
yeah.
real life,
If that happened
I
in
want
real
some
life,
trades,
yeah.
baby.
Dude,
But,
last year was crazy.
Yeah. So
It'll happen again. The GMs are coming around.
Imagine we had this super crazy offseason, super crazy free agency period, and then just no trades in the draft. Just
not even
strict draft trades.
264 picks all in a row.
Yeah. Jesus, not even second round, nothing.
Nothing.
We're just gonna stick and pick.
Yeah.
But Chiefs on the board. I'm gonna go somewhere that's not a wide receiver, not a tackle, and not a D lineman because, wide receiver is still a need. I know they signed Marquise Brown, which is huge for them. Tackle is still kind of a need. D-line could still be a need. But they just lost Willie Gay. So I think drafting a guy like Peyton Wilson, maybe even, oh my God, what's his name? Edgerrin Cooper, depending on who they have higher. I'm going to go Peyton Wilson, just honestly because of ADP. I'll be honest. It's just ADP.
Yeah.
So we're going to go Peyton Wilson here for the Chiefs, and then boom, analyze your draft. Let's see what we did. I would zoom out so you could see it all, but we're not going to do that because it'll get blurry. So just a quick recap. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock Bowers, Roma Dunze, Joe Alt, Dallas Turner, Malik Neighbors, Talise Fuaga, J.J. McCarthy, Jared Verse, Quinyon Mitchell, Olu Fashanu, Cooper DeJean, Jackson Powers Johnson, Troy Fautanu, Johnny Newton, Byron Murphy, Amarius Mims, Graham Barton, Tyler Guyton, Cooley McKinstry, Brian Thomas Jr., J.C. Latham, Leatu Latu, Terran Arnold, A.D. Mitchell, Nate Wiggins, Jordan Morgan, Troy Franklin, and Peyton Wilson is our first round mock.
Okay, mock 1.0. I'm excited to see
In the
how
books.
much it changes. Because we have 4 more that we'll be doing then, right? Because the draft is in the 20th or something normally.
I'm not 100% sure. But mock draft Monday, it's becoming a thing.
Yeah.
We released one last week, even though Austin wasn't here.
I won't do that again!
Yeah, he was sick. He was a sick boy. He'll never be sick again.
He will never be sick again.
But here at Dynasty Kings...
April 25th, baby. We have 5 more.
Okay. Hey,
Pretty
there you
sure,
go.
right?
Does that include tomorrow? Or I guess this one?
Okay, this one is 1.
Okay.
2.
Boom.
3.
Boom.
4.
Boom.
5.
And then the draft?
I guess we have fucking 6 of them. Alright, we're coming in at 85. But, that's a lot. And I'm very excited to see. Next one, I think we're going to go crazy with the trades.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like I want to go. 1 with very few trades. 2 with a bunch of trades. 3 right in the middle. And then 4 and 5 will be as accurate as we can get because we'll start hearing rumors and stuff like that. But, hey, I feel like as far as just pure talent and needs go, teams all got what they needed.
Yeah.
Some teams found best player available. I feel like just looking at this, my personal winner for the draft is going to be the Cardinals.
I think so too.
Because, I mean, god dang, son.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Also,
Yeah.
really, if J.J. McCarthy ends up being a solid QB, even if he's, in that 12 to 16 range, this is a great draft for the Vikings as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
It depends, though. Yeah, I don't know where I'm at with J.J. McCarthy, man. He's the biggest wild card for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know either. The Vikings draft here is very interesting. You set them up. I would love to know what Vikings fans out to say about JJ at 11 and then Kool-Aid at 23.
Yep.
And
we'll see how much higher I get on Kool-Aid too as I continue to watch Terrian film because, like I said, I'm the first to admit I'm unprepared on the Terrian Arnold gameplay. I watched a couple Alabama games because my brother's a fan.
Ew.
Yeah.
How is he not a Troy fan?
Cause, bro. Let's see. Do you want to pick the team who's winning national championships or the team who's winning the Sun Belt?
Didn't we go to Troy though?
Well, yeah. Well, he's a Troy fan too. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's a fan of both.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time fan.
Big Alabama fan.
Yeah. Loves the state. Roll Tide, baby. My mom is just like crying hearing that. She's an Auburn fan, so it's just like it's a battle. Yeah, dude. Oh, she was. The proof of her love is her buying him Alabama shirts.
Oh.
Yeah, bro. Exactly.
That's nice.
Yeah, we'll end on a positive note.
Dice Kings 5 AS.
All right.
Mock Draft Monday. We'll be back next week.
See y'all.
Peace.